Today I'm going to be reading chapter 29 of The Last Book in the Universe, as well as going over some of the vocab words from this chapter and going over the assignment for today. So let's start with the vocab words. The first word that you're going to, well, it's not necessarily the first word you're going to encounter in the story. It's the first word on my list, and you will encounter it in the story. It's contemptuously. So we need to break it down. Okay. Let's start with contempt. Contempt is a feeling. When you feel contempt, it means that you are feeling that this thing, a feeling that something or someone is of less value or that they deserve judgment on some level. And contemptuously, if you look down here, it is an adverb for contempt. So it is to act in a way that shows contempt, to show that feeling that you think something is worthless or that it's deserving of judgment. In the example, you can see that we have a bad-tempered manager who yells a lot and treats her staff contemptuously. So she treats them in a manner that shows that she believes that they are worthless. The next vocab word is despise. This is also a feeling. This is to feel contempt. So it's like a synonym for contempt, right? Well, contempt is the noun. Despise is the verb. It's the feeling itself, that feeling of contempt. Despise and hate are synonyms. So you can, when you hear despise, you can think hate, and you're pretty close. Okay. It's an even stronger word, despise, like just disgusted by the presence of someone. Two basketball teams despise each other, and their games are always very physical. That sounds dangerous. The last vocab word before we get started on the chapter is anarchy. I love this word because there's the very simple version of anarchy where it means basically chaos or disorder. Things are out of control. It's anarchy. It's a noun, right? It's also a political belief. It's a political belief that we can, as a society, get along through voluntary cooperation, and we don't respect government in our in our society. People who are anarchists do not respect government organizations. They believe in voluntary cooperation of just regular people. But there is also like the more negative use of the word to just mean things are out of control. It's anarchy, it's chaos, right? Because so many people turned out for the protest, police officers were needed to prevent anarchy. So in this case, in this sentence, the word anarchy is being used in a negative way to suggest that the protest was going to get out of control and that the police were needed to keep it under control. Okay, let's get started on the chapter. Chapter 29. Say goodbye to Eden. So we get to fly in the Sky D, but it isn't much fun. The enforcers shove us down into the bottom of the vehicle where we can't see anything. And when Bean starts to complain, they go, "Silence," in a way that makes my stomach melt. So we both shut up until we get there. There is a place called Stadium. Only it's nothing like the ruins of the old stadiums in the Herb, which are huge piles of crumbling concrete and rusted steel. Stadium is really a small curving hillside that looks like it was scooped out by a giant spoon. When we get there, the green hillside is already covered with people. Proves, of course. And the enforcers tell us they've all been summoned too, just like us. So the proofs have all been summoned to this place they call Stadium. And when I think of stadium, I think of a big place where people gather for an important event. So they all arrived in body cuffs, I ask. Ooh, I think he's trying to make a joke. And one of the enforcers looks at me like I'm some sort of talking animal, not worth answering. The enforcers release the body cuffs, and Bean and me stumble into this smooth black circle at the bottom of the hillside. The surface under our feet is polished like a dark mirror, but it's not slippery somehow. Now, when I think of that, what I'm envisioning in my head is like almost like a ballroom or something, like a dance floor. Again, very fancy, sounds very important. Ryder's already in the black circle, waiting for us. He's holding his walking stick and standing tall in a fresh white tunic. His white beard ruffles in the breeze, and he looks fierce and proud and very old all at the same time. Don't leave the circle, he warns us. The edges are charged, and you'll get a rude shock. Ryder, I say, what's going on? Ryder gazes up at the gathering crowd of proofs. There's barely an empty space on the hillside. What makes it really weird is before this, we haven't ever seen more than 5 or 6 proofs in the same place at the same time. Now there are thousands out there. We hear the murmur of their voices, we can almost feel the force of thousands of proofs staring at us, wanting to know who we are and how we dared enter Eden. What's going on? Judgment Day, Ryder says. Notice that judgment and day are capitalized. That's a biblical allusion. That's talking about like the end of times, like the end of the world, right? I think Ryder's kind of making a joke here, like where they're acting like this is such a huge deal, right? That they've broken some sort of holy law by just being here. And then he gives a more serious answer. He says, a trial, I assume. Trial? What's a trial? That tells me I can infer that Spaz does not know what a trial is, right? He's asking what it is. That means he doesn't know what it is. That means that there are no trials in the herb. We know what a trial is, right? Where you go in front of the judge, there's a jury, people present evidence, et cetera, right? We know what that is. And then Ryder says, it's from the back times. It was a way of deciding if you broke the rules and what the punishment should be if you did. The latch bosses make all the decisions in the herb. And since a latch boss also makes his own rules, you never really know until you've broken one, and then it's too late. They have a different way of enforcing things here, Ryder says. Jin explained it when they came for me. It seems we've been found in violation of the rule forbidding normals in Eden. Apparently, most proofs think we should be banished, and the sooner the better. But before a judgment can be made, all the people of Eden must hear the evidence, make recommendations, and then bear witness to the final decision of the masters. I remember that term, the masters. That's what Linnea is going to be when she's older, right? That's what she's training to become, is a master, but she's not one yet, right? Where's the boy? Bean asked, looking anxiously around. Where's Littleface? Hidden away, Ryder says, keeping his voice low and making a sign that we should speak no more about it. Ah, so Bean hasn't given up on her promise to raise him like one of her own. I can infer here that they are hiding Littleface, which makes me like her even more than I did before. What about Linnea? I ask. She's in trouble too, Ryder says. She'll have to answer to the masters. All of a sudden, a hush falls in stadium as the gathering proves goes silent. They're all staring at something beyond us, and I turn in time to see what they're watching. Right behind us, a small hill is coming unhinged. Wait, why is there a hinge on a hill? Hinges are for doors. what's going on. I swear, that's what it looks like. A section of grass tilts up like a lid, and then a circular platform rises out of the ground. The platform seems to be made out of the same mirrored black stuff that we're standing on, but the shape of it changes and expands as it rises. Then, when the whole thing is enfolded from the ground, the platform slowly pivots until it faces stadium. On the platform, seated in transparent thrones, are the 7 masters of Eden. I know without being told who they are. They seem to radiate power and authority without saying a word or making a threat. Some of the masters are young, but at least 4 of the 7 are quite old. They don't look geezer old like Ryder with his wrinkled skin and missing teeth, but they have a fragile appearance of old age. Even the very old ones still look perfect somehow, as if age has sharpened their focus on being alive. Standing before them, looking beautiful and angry, but not afraid, never afraid, is our friend Linnea. I try to catch her attention, but she seems to be avoiding my eyes on purpose, like she doesn't want to be distracted. The oldest master rises from her transparent throne and thumps the platform with a long black stick. Future Master Linnea, to the charge of bringing normals into Eden, what say you? Linnea faces the hillside as if she wants to respond to the people there and not just to the masters. What say you? Repeats the old master. Linnea takes a deep breath and speaks in a voice that somehow carries to the far ends of the stadium. I say, if saving lives is against the rules, then the rules must be changed. The oldest master thumps her stick impatiently. Explain, she demands. They saved my life, so I helped save one of theirs. Tell your entire story, child, the old master urges. Don't make us drag it out of you piecemeal. Linnea bows to the old woman. My thanks to you, Master Ryla. I'm aware that you've taken a special interest in me, since I will one day sit where you sit and listen as you have listened. I only hope I can do as good a job as you have done. Don't bother trying to charm me, child, snaps the ancient Prove. I'm too old to be charmed, even by one so charming and persuasive as yourself. So get on with it. Linnea grins and bows again. My apologies. Let me begin by telling you, all of you, she says, raising her hand to the gathered Proves, that many times I have crossed the zone and journeyed into the herb, sometimes to trade, as some of you have also done, but more often to study the people who live there, the unimproved, the human beings we so contemptuously refer to as normals. There's that word, contemptuously. To look down on, to believe that they are deserving of judgment. From the crowd comes murmurs of comment and exclamation. I could see many of them shaking their heads, frowning in disapproval. Such journeys are, as all of you know, discouraged, and for good reason, Linnea admits. There are many dangers in the herb. Violence, disease, toxic smog, but the greatest danger is ignorance. I speak not only of the ignorance of the normals, but of our own ignorance. We despise the very idea of being normal, and yet those who are normal do not despise us for our apparent perfection. She pauses, as if she wants to let that sink in, but I don't see many of the proofs. Lately, there are new dangers in the herb, she continues, pacing about the stage. In some of the latches, the leaders have stopped leading. Anarchy reigns. Mobs run wild, burning and looting. And why have the leaders failed? because we have supplied them with brain probes. Master Ryla bangs her stick. Do you have proof of this treachery? She demands, her ancient eyes flashing. I do, Linnea says. Mind probes have been forbidden in Eden because we know the dangers. And yet, there are those who encourage the spread of probing in the herb. At first, I didn't know why this should be. And then the truth of it was explained to me by one of the normals you see before you. She points to Ryder. He bows his head slightly. That old man may not have benefited from genetic improvement, but he knows what he knows. He knows there are those in Eden who would wish to see the normals destroyed. And what better way to encourage them to destroy themselves than with brain-rotting mind probes? Many of those on the hillside rise to their feet. Some of them are shouting, although I can't quite make out what they're saying. Again, Ryla thumps her black stick, and all fall silent. We will investigate, she says in a voice as clear as an old true bell. If what you say is true, we will take appropriate action. But what has this to do with bringing normals into Eden? What has this to do with saving your life and you saving one of theirs? Linnea explains about her TAC-V getting surrounded when she was trying to pass out edibles to the starving mob. She tells how Ryder risked his own life to distract the mob while she got away. Then she points to me. And this normal, a boy with no parents, a boy shunned even by the lowest of the low, this boy risked his life not only to save me, but to save his sister who was dying. How could I refuse to help when I knew she might be saved? If only I could bring her here. There are a few murmurs of agreement from the assembled crews, but not many. As you can see, she was easily cured by our technology. We have the means to cure almost all of the diseases that plague the herb, and yet we don't bother trying. We let them sicken and die. We let them starve. We let their latches burn. Is that right? Is that proper? I say no. I say we must remember that the people we call normal are not so different from ourselves. Oh, that's going to make them mad. Heckling comes from the crowd on the hill. Linnea has gone too far. Look at them, someone cries. They're ugly. They're hideous. They're stupid. They're normal. Linnea waits until the shouting dies down and then raises her hand, pointing to her own beautiful face. Is this how we judge ourselves? By our pretty faces? By perfect noses, delicate ears, lustrous hair? Is that why the first engineers risked their lives to improve our chances of survival? More shouting from the crowd. Don't forget brains, Linnea. We're smarter too. She was waiting for this one. Linnea smiles to herself, as if that's exactly the comment she hoped to hear. Smarter? Is that what makes us proves? Yes, they shout, yes. Ooh, what do you think she's about to bring up? Yep. Ryla thumps her black stick. Let her speak, she roars. Linnea makes a bow of thanks to the old master. We come to the subject of intelligence, she says, because all of us believe we're smarter than any normal. That makes it easier for us to pretend they're not really human like us. But what if I told you a normal, a girl of 12, learned the game of chess in less than an hour and then beat one of the top rated players in Eden. The sounds coming from Stadium mean that no one believes her. They think it's impossible that a girl from the herb could be smarter than a man born in Eden. Think about it, people! Linnea shouts, making herself heard above the roar of disbelief. Where do we come from? Our genetic coding is the same. We're all human beings. We all start from the same place, the children of the herb. And some of the herb children don't need any improvement. They're already smart, already intelligent, already gifted. If nothing else, they have the gift of courage. No, the crowd roars. No. Yes, Linnea shouts, raising her fists. Then she points at me and Bean. Yes, let these normals be raised in Eden with all of our advantage, and they'll do more than beat us at chess. They'll teach us what it truly is to be human, because they have already experienced something none of you have. They risked everything simply to go on living. Again, the crowd roars no. Yes! Yes! Linnea shouts. She points at Ryder. You see this old man? He's lived but half as long as some of you, and yet he has more courage, more imagination than any of you. He must have simply to survive. Let him teach us. Let him tell us his stories. Let him write that the children of Eden have opened up the gates to paradise. The crowd roars back, drowning her out. The old master thumps her black stick. A hush of silence finally descends upon Stadium. Stay if you agree, Ryla commands. Leave if you don't. Proofs by the thousands stream off of the hillside, leaving it green and empty. Linnea stares at the vanishing crowd as if she can't believe her own eyes. Masters, she finally calls out in a much smaller voice. What say you? The masters quietly confer among themselves for many minutes. Once or twice they look over at the three of us, but their perfect faces give nothing away. When they're done, Ryla thumps her stick 3 times, then slowly walks to the front of the platform. Linnea, you spoke well, she says. When you are a master, things may change. But for now, the rule must stand. Eden shall be Eden. The masters have spoken. Then she turns her back and walks.